People aren't getting worried about Donald Trump. Now, before you start worrying too, remember this, that I did not predict that he'd win the last election, and now I worry he won't win the next one in November, and I'm hoping my prediction record is 0 from 2. Because although I quite accept Trump is flawed, I accept that, I know, he's crude, he's rude, he tells amazing untruths, he blusters, oh my goodness, all that. But I judge a leader by results. I don't have to like him, I don't have to like her. And to me, Donald Trump has done a great job in foreign policy. And he was doing very good work with the American economy until the virus hits. He particularly recognised the threat from China as the first president for yonks to do something about that. And the alternative is absolutely shocking. I mean, the Democrats, Joe Biden, well, I've got to say, he seems certifiably senile. And the identity politics he represents is a true cancer, real cancer. Well, you're seeing it now in the extreme with the Black Lives Matter riots. But it does seem that Donald Trump now could blow this. He's way down in the polls against Biden. Now, it's true. I know the polls lie. We saw it last time. But they're really way down. But that said, you know, a lot of Trump supporters have now become too scared to say how they'll vote. So who knows what the polls really are. But then again, Trump is in one fight after another. He lashes out too much, and he hasn't handled the virus crisis all that well, not the communications of it, certainly. And now his former National Security Advisor, John Bolton, a real warmonger, I've got to say, is taking revenge for Trump, sacking him for the right reasons, by the way. Bolton wanted to, strike at Iran, which who knows where that would have gone. Now, Bolton, though, has written a book calling Trump a liar and no good and weak. And, of course, suddenly Bolton is the left's pin-up boy when they used to hate his guts. OK, maybe I'm just panicking. And to see if I can be talked out from my tree, let's hear from James Morrow, American political commentator, now opinion editor of Sydney's Daily Telegraph and a co-host of Outsiders on Sunday, which is absolutely rating its socks off. James Morrow. Are you as worried as I am that Trump will lose the election to a near senile Joe Biden?
Well, look, Andrew, they cannot keep Joe Biden in witness protection forever. There is an election in 4 months. It has been now, I think, 82 days since Joe Biden last fronted a press conference, a proper media conference. They cannot keep
82 days.
82 days. They can't
Wow.
keep. He'll do these very soft, scripted interviews from his basement bunker, his little hidey hole down there over Skype. But even those, it's pretty clear that he has trouble getting through these scripts. He doesn't have a lot of energy. I just don't think they'll be able to hide him for that long. And Trump will make mincemeat of him in a debate. They will use the virus, obviously, for as long as possible to keep him under wraps. The real danger here, though, I think, is that we're in this position, Andrew, where both sides of this situation, this horrible woke revolution that's playing out violently in our streets, with places like Seattle seeing blocks taken over by insurrectionist Antifa groups. We've got statues of heroes of the Union, of heroes who freed slaves being torn down indiscriminately because they don't fit the narrative of the woke revolution being torn down. All of this violence plays in the hands of the left for now, and they're saying the more we can let this run, the better it's going to be because it's chaos. And yet for Trump, he is kind of in a position where he cannot go in and crack down too hard, because if he does, the left is absolutely waiting for some sort of thing that they will call his Tiananmen Square moment. We saw that with Lafayette Park the other week when he cleared that square so he could go visit St. John's Church, which the rioters had attacked. I do think there is a reaction coming, but I think that reaction is going to be a ground-up, a bottom-up political reaction that more and more normal Americans are going to be saying, you know what, enough of this, and Trump will pick that ball up and run with it when the time comes.
Gee, you're not really doing the job that I'd asked you to come on for, mate, which was talking me out of my tree. I mean, you give me more. We'll talk about the coronavirus thing. Yeah, I think he's been given an unfair rap. Most of the coronavirus deaths are occurred in Democrat-run states with Democrat disastrous decisions like in New York, making
the nursing homes.
The nursing home scandal.
40% of all deaths from coronavirus in the United States come from nursing homes where these patients were put by Democrat governors into these nursing homes and ripped through it and took out everybody in these horrible tragedies because they were so scared that the hospitals were going to get overwhelmed, and yet the hospitals were never overwhelmed, and yet they kept populations on lockdown. They destroyed the economy, and they destroyed especially the more conservative business-owning parts of the economy. Any coincidence there? I don't know. But the Democrats handled this horribly. The one interesting thing about the coronavirus, though, we see infections increasing, but the number of deaths per day staying more or less flat, which suggests that policies are working and that, it may be getting less dangerous there.
But, James, you haven't said, I agree with you, but Trump hasn't turned this into a positive for him. He hasn't really been on the attack. This is what I'm saying. Yeah. His communications they're not great. He's going to have to step up.
It's very frustrating. He's sitting there tweeting law and order, but he needs to do something more. I agree with you completely.
James Morrow, I'll tell you what's frustrating. I come to you to come on this show, calm me down, give me a chill pill, and what do? You feed me another panic one. I mean, for heaven's sake, mate. I'm going to have you on back in next week or the week up.
It will be fine. These things always come around. See. They always turn.
Yeah, well, you save that till the very end when I challenge you. I'm going to give you a week or two. You come back and you do a better job than this and telling me that it's not going to be lost.